I bet you didn't know you have a gap in your business succession plan. I didn't know that I had a gap in my business succession plan until I ran straight into it. My name's Annette Manius, and I sold my business to three people that worked for me. They knew the business because they had worked there. However, they did not know how to run a business that had been in business for 30 something years and was my baby, was my legacy. How was I going to teach them the important pieces to run and own that business? So there's a couple things that I want to talk about here that I realized when I got to that point. So I knew who I was going to sell the business to. I knew what the price was. I kind of knew my exit date. I wasn't quite solid on that yet. We had a 5-year exit plan. And when I say that to people, they say 5 years. Oh my gosh, that's a long time. But you think about you've got a business that uh, had been around for 30 something years. I was the owner. The employees all knew me. And they obviously knew the people that bought the business because they worked there. But that transition of leadership between me and them, how was that org chart going to look? And how was everybody going to feel about that? So that's the journey that I went on to fill in that gap. So the gap really is between you've decided to sell, you know who you're going to sell, and then your exit. In between there, what is that? Especially if you're selling to, like I did, people that worked for me or family members. So I see people that say, well, Mike has been in the business since he was a little kid and he understands the business. That's all well and good. My people understood the business. But does that family member understand how to run that business? Have you imparted that knowledge onto them? If you have not, you're really doing them and you a disservice for not figuring out what that gap is. So just a couple things. The gap to me is making sure that you have a good culture. What is the culture of your business? And how is that portrayed to your employees? And do the new owners buy into it? I've seen situations where people have sold their business to family members or employees, and all of a sudden the culture just goes sideways. And you're thinking, what the heck happened with that? Well, they were never really solid about what their culture and their vision is for the business. So once the original owner, me, steps away or starts stepping aside, things go a little bit sideways. So you want to make sure that that culture and that vision is in good shape. And then leadership skills. That's a huge piece of it, is leadership skills. And are they going to be able to lead the business, lead the employees, lead and treat the customers right? All those different things that go along with leadership. How are they going to know that? What that's all in that gap and that piece in there. What does that look like? And of course, there's a lot of different things that encompass that. But the other piece of that that's in that gap is you. And I say that because there's a lot of emotion that goes along with you trying to help them fill that gap because you're there. The change of the org charts, the change of the structure, you are there for that. And you have to be able to be okay with that, to have a smooth exit, to be able to step back at some point and allow them to step forward. In my business succession, we were about a year and a half out before I exited, and the org structure was changed and people were starting to report to the new leaders. They didn't know that I was exiting. The employees did not know. I mean, they probably knew, but they didn't officially know, and they didn't know what the time frame was. But they started to report to the new leadership, and I stepped back. And the more they stepped forward, the more I stepped back, which was great. That is the way that it should be. However, there are challenges there, being the legacy person there and watching this. You really have to check your ego at the door on that one. So those are just a few things. If you're thinking about selling your business, or you're in the midst of that succession, what made it go smoothly for me and my team is that we talked about the culture, the vision, the leadership. We were very open with each other about how they felt and how I felt about the transition and how it was going. That goes to emotional intelligence, which is a whole different subject there too. But it made everything go as it should. My plan at exit was that I would leave and it would be just another day at the office. That people were not wondering how, what's the next thing they're going to do, because that leadership had all transitioned over to everybody else. And when I left, it was just another day at the office. And that's the way I wanted it to be. So you need to kind of think about what is, though, the fill in the gap. What is that piece there? And you may have hit that already, or you may still be in the beginning where you haven't hit it yet and you don't realize that you're going to hit it, like I didn't realize that I was going to hit it until I hit it head on, and then had to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? How am I going to get them to be able to own and run this business? So I would love to hear comments, if you put them in the comment box, about where you are in your journey, and have you hit this fill in the gap piece yet? And if not, uh, I can help you with that. So just put some comments in the box, and I appreciate it. And I will see you the next time.